To prep the gun for cleaning, we need a few things. We need a small bowl to put parts in, a paper towel, a wrench that the gun came with, and a straw cleaner. To start, I like to remove the knob and the spring that is with this. So I will just unscrew this and the spring will come out with it. This is the needle, so in order to get it out, I like to pull the trigger and it just pushes it out a little bit, grabbing my paper towel and pulling it out that way. Now, this is very sharp, so just be careful with it. For the nozzle, this just unscrews and it comes off into two pieces. This piece is the number 13 on the wrench, and I like to line it up and then I'll just crack it loose and then do the rest of it by hand. Next up is the straw. You're just going to pinch and pull it off. To remove the lid from the gun body itself, I just use the other portion of the wrench, crack this loose, and then I will unscrew it by hand. We're now left with the lid and the solution cup, and we will take this apart at the sink so that we don't have solution going everywhere. Using hot water, I will rinse the needle off and use a paper towel to wipe off any of the buildup. For the other small pieces, I will close the drain and dump them all in so that we can soak while I work on using the straw cleaner and scrubbing all of the threads and all of the small openings to get rid of any of the buildup we may have. To clean the solution cup, I just rinse it until the water runs clear with hot water, and then we'll let it air dry. I like to separate the straw from the lid and let the lid soak while I work on the straw. I like to rinse the straw a couple of times and then I will go in with the brush cleaner. For the lid, I use the straw cleaner and go through the center where the straw connects and then around the outer edge, just making sure you're careful with the duckbill. For the main body of the gun, I like to flip it over and run water through the major entry points. I like to flip the gun over and pull the trigger so that I have better access to where the needle goes through the gun. That way I can use my straw cleaner and really scrub under there. Going through the front of the gun, you want to be gentle because this is where the needle goes. So you can see this is where it's kind of lining up and coming out the other side. So just don't go too far so it doesn't get stuck. Then I just like to finish with one final quick rinse. I like to use the Show applicator cleaner and pour a little bit of it on all of these small parts and let them soak. After a couple of minutes, I will just rinse all of these little parts off. Since I already have the applicator cleaner out, I'm going to prep my cup for cleaning it later. So 2 ounces of solution to 1 ounce of hot water, and I'll put that aside. Now that these parts have air dried, I'm going to start with the front nozzle. So I'm going to pick up the piece with the multi little holes, and then I will put the nozzle piece in and screw it until it's hand tight. Using the number 13 on the wrench, I will tighten it up just a bit more. Grabbing this piece and the black ring, I will tighten it by hand, getting my nozzle lined up how I like it. Flip the gun around and grab the needle. Just be careful to put this straight in. You don't want to bend the needle because it can cause spraying issues later. I will pull the trigger down when I'm putting the needle through. You can see where it lines up, and then I just push until it clicks in. Putting the spring and the knob in, I will put the spring inside of the knob and then I will line it up and push it in. You want to press firmly so that it doesn't try to push itself out, and then just turn to the right, and I like to screw it all the way tight. I like to check this nut right here because if it is too tight, it actually won't respond to the trigger and it'll hold on to the needle a little bit tighter, so it'll continue spraying even though you let off the trigger. So too tight is too much, but you don't want it too loose either, so just adjust it a little bit. For the lid, I will line these up and then I will turn it to the right until I can't tighten it anymore by hand. The wrench will tighten it up the rest of the way. The bottom nozzle needs to line up with the gold piece. If it's ever not, you can just twist it for it to actually line up, and then you can just push this tube back on, make sure it goes all the way up, and then you'll do the same thing on the bottom part. Grabbing the solution straw, you just put it right into place and then grab your solution cup, and we are ready to run the cleaner through the gun. I adjusted the settings to my liking, and then I am going to connect the air hose to the bottom and run the cleaning solution through it.